Today I'm going to talk about common mistakes I see in PCB assembly product costing. I'm going to start with bill of materials because small details here matter far more than most people realize. One of the most common issues is with the unit of measure being entered incorrectly. Real prices are assumed instead of actual pack sizes. Price breaks are applied that only work if you buy far more than you realistically need. Then minimum order quantities push businesses into buying months of stock. Then design changes, components go obsolete. That write-off hits the margins directly, but it is never traced back to the original costing decisions. In worst cases, deliveries slip and PCB assembly line stops. Labor costing is another problem area. It is usually calculated as an hourly rate multiplied by runtime. That often understates the real labor cost because of preparation time, setup time, waiting time, rework. Supervision and handovers between the stages are usually left out. Machine time is where costing really starts to drift away from reality. Preparation and setup time are often underestimated. Changeovers are expensive, but they are never reflected properly in the product costing. Energy and other running costs are ignored or pushed into general overheads. As a result, downtime is treated as normal, even though it is one of the most expensive parts of the process. Testing is usually treated as a quality step. Financially, it controls the output. For example, 6 minutes functional test limits how many boards you can ship in a day, but that constraint is rarely reflected in costing and it just gets buried in overheads. Rework is another area that gets brushed off. If you add 3 to 5 pounds of rework per board across 30,000 units, then you are losing 100,000 to 150,000 pounds a year, and often without really seeing it. When costing is not done properly, decisions are made using numbers that are too optimistic and often misleading. I've seen directors push for margins improvements by setting production budgets that don't reflect factory dynamics at all. The result is disappointment, missed targets, and pressure on teams who were never set up to succeed. That is why product costing in PCB assembly needs to be specific to each product, with every stage laid out properly based on what actually happens on the shop floor. If your factory is not delivering the financial results you expect, cash starts to feel tight and profit drifts without clear reasons. This is often where the problem sits. Before making drastic decisions, take a proper look at how your products are really being costed and how that feeds into your pricing. I am Yashim. I work with manufacturing and engineering businesses across the UK, specializing in product costing, performance measurement, compliance and taxation. I help turning what happens on the shop floor into clear financial results you can actually rely on. Thanks for watching.